that when I tweeted it.
No.
Get even. Oh, we started. I've gone blank. Grumpy Old Reds, hey. Evening, everybody, and welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Just to remind you all, Sheffield 1, Forest 3. And I just want to confirm, because this guy right here, who just bang on cue turned his camera off, he doesn't know it's a bank holiday Monday tomorrow. So, just to let you guys know, it is officially a bank holiday Monday, and Forest have gone 3 days. They ruin every weekend, but when it comes to a 3-day weekend, big up to the Reds. We're not depressed. We're not depressed. Hope you guys are all okay in the chat. Rob, you okay, hun?
I'm more than okay. I'm feeling great. I'm waiting for the apologies that are going to come from.
Ez, you okay, hun?
I'm okay, hun. How are you?
I'm okay, hun.
Have you had any
Crypto,
more?
you okay? You okay, hun?
I'm okay, hun. I'm okay,
And
hun.
you okay, hun?
Yes, hon. Yes, I'm okay, hon.
Chat, you okay, Hans? Just checking. Just checking. That's okay. I gotta say, shout out to Jimmy for coming on yesterday.
That aren't aware of the context of that, wondering what the hell's going on.
Right.
I think they know. You should look at the chat, man. It's all you okay, Hans, in there. Oh, that was sort of you not doing that. You okay? For those who don't know, Jimmy texted me after that dead to me player Brereton Diaz scored and celebrated in front of our fans and said, "You okay, hun? You okay, hun?" What an idiot! You'd never, ever, ever do that, ever. Anyway. Right, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're new. And I mean, we got to start with crypto, because if I don't, Rob will kill me. Yeah, your agenda with Yates crypto is coming to. In fact, Rob, you can start the line of questioning to him.
Well, I said in the build-up that it was a Ryan Yates kind of game, and you said, "What does that even mean?" And I think now you know what a Ryan Yates kind of game is. I'm not saying he was man of the match, but that was a Ryan Yates kind of game.
Can we just be honest here for a second? It was a good goal by Ryan Yates. I'm happy for him, but the overall match performance wasn't anything to shout about. So well done, Ryan Yates. I think it's good that you scored, and I definitely think that the team respect you and follow you as a leader. But I'm not going to sit here and say he was brilliant. He was this, he was that. He was okay. He was fine. It was a good goal. It was a good finish. It helped us go on to win the match. But I wouldn't start him against Chelsea, put it that way. There was better players on that pitch, wasn't there? Which we'll talk about. But to name a few: Cho, Sells, Murillo, Bolly, etc., etc.
You satisfied, Rob?
I don't know. That doesn't sound anything like an apology.
Is your all of a sudden the answer, our solution, the missing link all of a sudden because he scored yesterday?
I mean, it seems like some people...
What extent are you taking it to?
Right, okay, so some people can produce it and yet it still doesn't convince you guys. And then there's other people, Sangare, for example, that never produce it and still get defended.
I'll answer that. If Ryan Yates had been doing that every other game for the season, I would say fair enough, consistency. Look, the best way to put this, and this is what my it sticks with me. If everybody was consistent at golf, they'd all be pro golfers. But 99.9% of people are shit, right? You can get a par on one hole, but it might take you 3 rounds to get a par on the next hole, and 3 more rounds to get a par on the hole after that. There's no consistency. Yes, he had a okay game. He scored a very good goal. But you have to
goal.
It's the same important goal. Yeah, shout out to him. I've got no problem with yesterday. I think he did well, and I'm really happy for him. But in the same way as Joe Worrell had a fantastic game against Chelsea that time. Bring back Joe Worrell for next game. Wouldn't play him any other game this season. You've got to be consistent. And the problem I've got is one of our most consistent players who's proven it, Mr. Domingo, is sat on the bench every game, and I don't think that's right.
I think you're being unfair. I think Ryan Yates is consistent. He's consistently average. I mean,
Yeah, but
I've had people come at me because I put a tweet out before the game saying that Nuno should be sacked, and I meant it.
Wait, can I quote it? Can I quote it?
I was
Can I quote it?
absolutely
Verbatim.
yeah.
Verbatim. I don't want you misquoting yourself.
I've already sacked him. We let in a goal from a corner. So.
Well, and to quote him verbatim, get this twat Santo out of my club. And then he's done the angry emoji expletive face. I love.
Can we get the super chat woman to read it out?
Oh no, that's not too.
That was so funny, man.
I love Yatesy, but he's not fit to lace Dominguez's boots. Any manager who picks Yates over Dominguez in any capacity should be axed immediately! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! End verbatim quotes. And
there you go. Yeah. So, and I stand by that. I mean,
you've deleted it.
Dominguez is a better football player than Ryan Yates on every single level. He does. People say, like Rob, it's a game for Yatesy. I know what he means. He expects a bit of rough and tough. Dominguez can do all that better, and he can do a lot more besides. He can be more creative. He's just a better player. So for me, there's no excuse to play Ryan Yates over Dominguez ever for any game. All right. On top of that, yesterday, I thought he was poor. People are being absolutely blinded by what was a fantastically taken goal with extreme importance to our Premier League survival. No doubt. I'm grateful for him. Grateful for it. But apart from that, it was awful. You know what I've noticed? I noticed particularly yesterday. I think he's been told, because he has given away more fouls than any other player in the Premier League, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he's been told not to do that. And it makes a hell of a difference to how effective he actually is. When he can't foul, he's got nothing left.
Mm.
He's got nothing left. If he can't foul, he just chases.
He stands up
he doesn't put the tackle in.
Yeah.
So anybody is welcome to try and come at me for that. But I'm telling you now, I would not change one word of that quote. That is how I feel about it, and I have done for a long, long time. And I defy anybody to tell me that Yates is better than Dominguez for any game, anywhere, anytime.
What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday, Rob, was that in the first half he wasn't great. Then he scored an amazing goal. Shout out to him. And I liked his interview actually, where he said that they'd been practicing that on the training pitch, where the ball goes over to the far side and then someone either kicks or heads the ball back in. I thought that was pretty interesting that he said that the goal came from what they're doing in training. But then after the goal, for me, again, he just went back to standing off people. He didn't even, like Ants just said, he wasn't even trying to tackle people yesterday. He was just kind of running with them, looked like he was scared to put a tackle in. He's not a starter for me. He's still not a starter. And I don't want the stream to turn in some like Yates hate stream, because I thought
I don't know.
I thought he did well, but I don't really have much else to say about it. He scored a good goal. It was good for Forest. It was good for the club. I like him as a person. I like him as a captain. But should he start over Dominguez? Not for me. No.
Can I throw in a stat?
Can I just answer that previous chat, the comment that came up?
Adam's one.
Yeah, regarding sacking Nuno. That wasn't like an instant reaction to sack Nuno. Wolfie would tell you I've been Nuno out for quite some time. In fact, I never wanted him in the first place. So just let you know, it wasn't a reaction to him being left being included.
This is a good point by Sai. We won. We beat Sheffield. We're nearly safe. We should be.
Can
more
I throw in a
positive.
stat about Yates before we wrap that one up?
Yeah, that's just gone.
So this is a shout out to WT Analysis on Twitter. I don't know if any of you guys also follow him.
Oh man, you've been butt licking him all day today, man. Ignoring all my calls and butt licking him.
I've been interacting with him. So
is that Wikipedia analysis?
He's actually pointed out that without Yates on the pitch, we have 0 away points.
That's the dumbest stat I've ever heard. No offense to him, because he's good. That's the dumbest stat I've ever heard.
We haven't won a game since December. Yates has played nearly every one of the games this year. That stat is pure bollocks. It's
okay,
can you just repeat that, Rob? Because my screen froze. Can you just repeat that stat?
Without Yates on the pitch, 0 away points. So all of our away points have come in games where Yates has played.
But it's taken us 5 months to win another game. We didn't win since Boxing Day.
That's
over five
That's
months
really
ago without
meaningless.
a win. And Yates played in 90%
Well,
of
actually,
those
no,
games.
we picked up a point at Bournemouth.
Yeah, we didn't win. We haven't
How
won.
many,
since
how many
five-
games? How many games with Yates have we not picked points up away from home?
Exactly.
All right, well, look, all I'm saying is that Sheffield
There's
United
two sides to every stat
away
as
from
well,
home,
mate.
Sheffield United away from home, end of the season, backs against the wall, where we need points to stay up. That is a Ryan Yates kind of game, right? I'm not suggesting that.
Sorry,
but he
I've got
did
to
well,
interrupt
he
you,
did
Rob.
well.
Don't you think that Dominguez could have done as good or better job than Ryan Yates yesterday?
Well, I know that Ryan Yates could have done it because he did.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything.
But I think
United is a
now we've
different-
now
Hold on, right.
nothing he does will satisfy you guys. So
Okay, no.
It
No,
will.
it's
Like
not
Zidane, trust me, it would.
We would love. I'd love nothing more than a homegrown player who supports his club to be our best player. I wish Joe Worrell and Ryan Yates were our best players. That would be amazing. In a similar way to how Brennan Johnson came through the academy and was one of our best players. That's amazing. But the truth is, he's not. But I don't want to slander him because yes, he did well yesterday, and it's like I'm trying to talk about the season in general after a game where he's done well and he's helped win us some points.
Exactly what Jake says. We've picked up the majority of points with Montiel starting, but would you continue to play him? I mean, you've bashed him on Twitter. We've had back-to-back away wins with Montiel playing because he started against Newcastle as his last away start. Stats mean absolutely nothing unless they're proving my point.
I've seen things in the past where, like, Gerrard's been out for 6 weeks, and people have said, "Well, actually, if you look at the season, Liverpool have won more points without Gerrard than they have with Gerrard." All right, so Gerrard must be crap then. You know what I mean? It's illogical. It makes no sense, that argument.
Let's move on. But just before we move on, stop freaking pressing buttons, Crypto.
It's not me.
It wasn't Chris.
It's Ed trolling. It's Ed trolling.
It's George. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Yeah, absolute legend. Appreciate it. Sai Mundo saying, love the new Murillo song. We're definitely going to talk about Murillo, even if it's 2 games before we sell him to Real Madrid. No. Loads of people in Forest shirts today in Nottingham still buzzing. Yeah, maybe a few in the Hawaiian tops. We'll talk about that in a minute. Thank you so much for the £5, Sai. And Chris saying, can you, this is what Rob said. Thank you for the £5, Chris. I saw your other comment as well. Can you believe we've not won a single point away from home in the Prem without Yates in the team? It's actually true. LOL. Look, let me round off this thing on Yates, right? No one's happier than me that he scored, well, apart from my foot, okay? But and I don't care if Yates scores or if Sangare scores or if Crypto's cat scores. I don't care as long as we win, yeah? But there's 2 things. One, we don't need to take away from the feeling he must have had scoring for the team he supports, yeah? That for me, I'd love to do that. I'm sure you'd all love to do it. I'm sure everyone in the chat would love to do it. The second thing I don't understand is it shows you the personalities of some people whose first reaction to a Yates goal is, where's all the Yates haters? That to me is probably the stupidest thing anyone can say, because one, it shows you're more interested in your pro or anti agenda against Yates rather than saying, my first reaction is, we're winning. Can we hold on? This is Forest. Yeah. There will be people who have reacted saying, where are the Yates haters? What's the point? Don't you want Forest to win, or are you just more interested in your agenda? I don't care if I'm proven wrong on Sangare. I don't care if I'm proven right or wrong on Yates. Yeah. All I damn well care is 2 things: that we step up and this season finishes goddamn as soon as possible. That's all I care about right now. So I find that very, very weird that people's instant reaction is, where's the Yates haters?
You're absolutely right. It's this player FC. It's becoming more and more prevalent in the game today. I think it's kids. I think it's kids because kids have like heroes rather than the team. You know, I've seen it so often across the board.
Yeah,
can I just say as well, though, that you might have thought Yates enjoyed his goal against the club he supported. He didn't enjoy as much as Burton Diaz did against the club he's supposed to.
Dead to me.
Okay, was that because he was getting stick from our away fans before he scored it. So I don't know.
It's football.
Also, we kicked him out. Why does he owe us anything? Forest. We sold him to Blackburn. Why does he actually owe us anything?
He doesn't.
He comes back and watches the matches, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? One who pissed me off more was that centre-back, Armadovic. He should have been sent off a lot sooner than he actually got that second yellow card for. When we scored the goal from the set piece, he should have got a yellow card for that. So his second yellow card should have actually been his first one. But he was dirty, man. The couple of fouls that he put in were dirty fouls.
It was great. He couldn't cope with Hudson-Odoi at all.
Yeah, he's a knob as well.
No. Yeah, absolutely. He got absolutely. Yeah, he got
not you, Si. Robinson.
No, Jack Robinson. I think. Yeah. That was the only thing I wanted to say on the Yates. I just wanted to hear what Rob had to say because he sounded like the type of guys who were just waiting for somebody to say exactly what you said.
Yeah,
and balance. Mate, no, but it's not a balance. So it goes from one extreme to the other. You either hate him or you love him. That's not what
I've criticised him. That Tottenham performance was dreadful. It was 0 out of 10. He was desperate to get sent off. He looked like he'd lost the plot.
Yeah, but you can't go from slandering him to noshing him off. He had a good. he had a good game.
Condemn them, you know.
It's a horrible way of putting such a beautiful act between two people. Anyway, look, let's move on from Yates.
Let's move on.
I said before we started, what I don't want is this to turn into a Yatesy batting session because the guy doesn't deserve it. He tries his hardest. He scored a great goal, a vital goal for us yesterday. So let's just be grateful for that and praise him for that. We can discuss whether he should be in the team when we're deciding on the next team sheet. We don't need to talk about that now. Yeah, let's just celebrate. Let's celebrate.
Well, let's put this question as we'll kick you off with this question. Are we there yet? That's a film, isn't it? It's an Ice Cube film. Are we there yet?
Yeah, that's the kids asking if we're there yet. Are we there yet? I don't think we are there yet.
Chat, are we there yet?
No, it's just around the next corner is the answer to that.
Yeah, we're nearly there. We are nearly there. But the Hawaiian shirt's not out just yet. But that was what we should have. That was one game that I was kind of banking on getting a 3 point from. Anything else is a bonus going forward now. So with the points that we get back, I think we will get something against Chelsea. As good as they were today, at home, they haven't beat us in the Premier League yet. So I'm going to go with that and hope that we can actually get a draw out of the Chelsea game. But to be honest, we could find out before that, depending on the results of Luton's next game. And I think Burnley play before us as well, don't they, next weekend?
Yeah, both 3 o'clock.
Anyway. Yeah, so we'll find out before the Chelsea game as far as I'm concerned. We're almost there, though. And, I feel a lot more comfortable after that win.
Yeah, but there are scenarios where we could be safe before a ball's kicked, or we could be going into Burnley needing something. And let's just say we went into Burnley needing something. Are you going to feel confident that we are going to get the something? The whole Stoke-Swansea scenario, man.
Yeah, I think I have to be. I think you have to be going into that situation, but I firmly believe it'll be sorted before then. Well, way before then, even before this weekend, as far as I'm concerned. But if you have to go into the last game needing something, then the most Forest thing to do would be to make it hard for ourselves. We won't make it easy. Whatever happens, it'll come down to a last-minute winner or last-minute equaliser or whatever it takes. But Burnley will be out of it by then. I'm pretty sure of that. So whatever we need to do, we need to do it before in the next game against Chelsea, I think. But I'm confident, mate. We're fine. I'm just not ready to start celebrating it yet.
Rob, having looked at West Ham and Spurs, these are the two, as VB says, I'm going to have to back Spurs next week.
Right, so
they look crap. Both of them look
Friday. Before Friday, we should know about if we're getting any points back. If we get 2, I think that relegates Burnley, right? So that comes into play before a ball is kicked, doesn't it?
Well, at the moment, we're on 29, they're on 24. So 1 point doesn't relegate them, but puts it into goal difference, into the Stoke scenario.
Relegates Burnley, right?
In fact, if they if they did a Stoke, my God, man, they're on -35. We're on -18. I mean, we would have to like treble what we did with Stoke because it would be a double swing, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to know. In theory, the decision's been made, but for some reason, the announcement's been delayed. I don't buy that. I still think that the decision is in the balance. Now, the way I think they're going to look at it is, well, you know, Luton and Burnley, you had your chance. You didn't win your home games. You're to blame. Now we're going to announce the points refund, season over, right? That's the way they're going to do it. I think they may have delayed that decision to try and, you know, not to overshadow the games so that all three teams had to play the games on their own merits, not knowing what they had to do, if you know what I mean. Now, I think Burnley are probably out of it now. But the trouble with West Ham is you don't know what West Ham is going to turn up, do you? So they are very inconsistent. But I think as long as Luton don't get a point at West Ham, I think that's it. So I think that game is actually more important than any of the other games, actually.
I agree, but I don't understand your logic. If they don't get a point...
Right, look, if Luton lose at West Ham, we are 3 points and goal difference ahead of them, right?
Yeah.
But
what if they get 3 points? Because you said don't get 1 point.
No, all right. At least 1 point. All right. Look, Luton against...
Why don't you just say if they lose?
Right. Luton against West Ham is a must lose, right? That happens pretty much, doesn't matter what else happens. So that is the single most important fixture. Whereas before, I would have said that Burnley Forest was the most important fixture because it's a 6-point swing. But actually, Luton, if they lose at West Ham, I think we can all breathe a massive, massive sigh of relief. And I think it's a massive advantage to play our game after that as well.
Yeah.
So I would say now, we're not home and dry, but we are in a strong position. We are in a strong position now.
You're making me more nervous. I'll be honest with you.
I was more relaxing until it's mathematically certain. There's still a small chance that the sanction may be increased as well. I mean,
no,
it's unlikely.
No, there's not. They would not dare do that, Rob. They would
for
not
it to be increased. Yeah, for it to be increased, the FA would have had to appeal it, surely, and they didn't.
Right, but we've seen Forest capitulate in. We don't want to have to go through Yeovil.
Let's not go through the.
Don't even mention it.
Let's just say until it's mathematically safe, I am as nervous and as tense as before. It doesn't stop. It's non-stop.
You lot are pussies, man. Where's your belief?
There is no respite from this tension until it's mathematically certain.
I can't believe you're still nervous about it, though. I'm saying we're not there yet. But
look, that game yesterday did not calm my nerves. That is I've never seen us thrashed so hard in a 3-1 win, right? That first half was excruciating. We were getting overrun, right?
How good was
you remember when we beat Doncaster 4-0 and we were hammered all game?
Yeah. I mean, we were basically, our defence had actually pushed up to the halfway line, and we were in the rare situation of actually being caught on the break. We were caught on counter-attacks, right? And it was only outstanding performance from Sells and Murillo. Sells got us out of jail twice, and Murillo, I counted 4 times. He had to personally intervene, or we were getting overrun, right? So there's no comfort even in a 3-1 win. So that game itself did nothing to settle my nerves. Even on 85 minutes with 2 goals up, I was absolutely bricking it in case we gave away a corner or a stupid free kick.
I do agree with you because Sheffield are one of the worst teams I've ever seen. And I hate to admit it, they outplayed us in the first half. If that goddamn Archer, man, what the hell was he doing from 3 yards out? He puts that in. It's a different story, man.
But also, the goalkeeper was fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, Sells was my man of the match.
Commit to saying that Sells is a good goalkeeper and he was a good signing and he was the solution that we were looking for, because I still don't get that some people are equivocating about that. I think that has been pretty much, other than the business that was done at the start of the year where, you know, Murillo and Hudson-Odoi, fantastic signings, right? But for the mid-season, I mean, I'm looking at Sells as one of the signings of the season because he's been exactly what we needed.
Yeah,
exactly what we needed.
I agree that he is the signing of the season, but I don't think he's the answer for next season.
No, I
Look,
agree with that.
If
Why,
we'd
though?
signed,
What has he done that makes you think that? I mean, it's
I
okay.
just think
So
he's
it's
a
a
good
perfect
number
valid
2.
opinion, but
I
Yeah.
just think he'd be a good number 2, and I still
agree.
think we need a number 1 ahead of him.
I just think he's slow on the reactions. Like I just feel he moves quite slowly. Is my thing. Like, maybe because he's big framed or something. And like, but I know it sounds hypocritical or contradictory to say he's the best signing. But if we'd signed Crypto in goal, it would have been an upgrade on Turner. So Crypto would have been my signing of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think he's a good keeper, but he's not the keeper. I'm not discrediting him. He was minor man of the match, yeah. But I just don't think he's the final thing that we need.
I always
Let me give my opinion. Let me just quickly give my opinion
on it. If you just get someone as wide as the goal, no one can score.
The reason I don't So to me, I don't like the backup we've got for him. So he needs somebody. He needs better competition behind him. So whether he's the number 1 or the number 2, we do need another goalkeeper. So ideally, you'd want another. Ideally, you want to bring in somebody better than what you've already got. That's the mentality I'm looking at. That's why I'd be looking for somebody better than Sells, not somebody better than Turner or any of our other backup keepers. I'd be looking for the next goalkeeper to be better than Sells and challenging him for the number 1 spot for next season. But at the moment, I don't like the backup. There was a risk of Sells going off injured yesterday, and
I thought about Crypto when you were down there.
I shut myself.
I thought it season over.
Oh God, yeah, just the sight of Turner's smiling face. I was thinking, no, we're not smiling, mate. Sit down.
Yeah, warming up on the side.
For that reason.
There was one stage where he nearly took his bib off.
For this situation, don't worry, guys. I've got this.
I hate how he smirked. He's like running around smirking, thinking he's like. God,
what is he smiling about?
We really are the fucking grumpy old Reds, aren't we? I mean, we've had a fantastic weekend, and we start off going on Yates. Now we're on to Turner, who didn't even play.
But Turner winds me up, you know.
But on Sells, Ant, are you, because a lot in the chat, and we've got a poll there, and 74% are saying yes, Sells is fine for next year. Get your votes in on that poll. Where are you on Sells? And by the way, I don't want people taking this the wrong way round, yeah. Because Sells has been fantastic. I'm saying signing of the season, yeah. But I'm still saying not the finished. It's like Wood. I want a replacement for Wood next year. He's been brilliant this year. Like my whole philosophy, do you know who it revolves around? Felipe. Felipe was our best player last year. He's been not that good when he's played this year. Yeah, there's age that gets involved in this. Yes, I'm 30th, probably because I'm still in my 20s. But where are you on Sells, Ant?
Right, I understand why you're saying that you'd like us to get a better goalkeeper. 100% get that, and yeah, I'd love us to as well. But if we can't get somebody that's a lot better than him and is willing to come and we can afford, then I am okay with him being there next season. But as Ed says, we desperately need a proper backup, or preferably somebody to take his place. And I agree with everything Ez is saying. But I would be okay with Sells being our number 1, right? You know, I think we've got other areas that are more important that we strengthen. Let's put it that way.
I thought Sells was good yesterday. I thought he was one of our best players.
It was man of the match for me.
He didn't make as many saves.
He's been good for us. We're no longer worried, do we? You know,
no.
A couple more things on Sells. So I do get what you're saying, Wolverine. There's been a few shots where he's been at full strength, full stretch, where his hands have not quite reached.
Well, he's got his hands to it, Rob, and he's still let it in. I
agree with you on that. But what I would say is I'm relatively comfortable with him in the air, and he comes off his line fast, and that's something that the others did not do. Yeah, I mean that block he did, he did against Archer yesterday was outstanding. He just made his body bigger than the goal from the angle that Archer was shooting.
He also gets down well.
I don't sound right.
No, it's fine. You're fine.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Virgin Media. So the second thing is Sells is probably going to play as number 1 in the Euros for Belgium because Courtois has not played since June last year. So Sells has probably made that shirt his, right?
No way. Courtois back.
What?
He was
He's
on the
not played
bench
since
last
June
week.
last year.
It doesn't matter. That's like saying if Messi was injured and he got fit just in time for.
Well, we'll see, won't we? But I think we're
probably
gonna see him in the Euros, and he might, if Belgium go all the way to the semis again or whatever, he might win some plaudits in that. So, I think if we then come to the start of next season and he's had a successful run in the Euros and Forest have stayed up, and then we go, oh, we're going to sign Matt Turner or something. I think that's really unfair on him. I mean, what else has he got to do? Do you know what I mean? I think he should be given a run. And what I think, obviously, Turner and Vlachodimos need to be moved on, but we should probably be looking to the lower divisions for a homegrown, bright, young keeper to be the understudy to Sells. And not try and bring somebody in over the top of him who, like, some kind of. I mean, you look at the big money keepers like Onana and De Gea. De Gea has not kicked a ball all year. It's like, I don't want to sign a £300 a week keeper. No, I think we've got the right guy, and we've got to balance the books, and we need to spend the money elsewhere. We have spent enough money on keepers this year, right? We've got to move those 2 clowns on, and we've got to bring in some decent homegrown keeper from the lower divisions who's happy to be an understudy.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'll tell you what, even that dude that Blackpool brought on when their keeper got injured, he was good. He probably get for 50,000.
Everyone's good against our strike force. So. I'll tell you what, I don't know, maybe, no one clip me. The Luton keeper, if they go down, he's not that bad.
Yeah,
Kaminsky.
Yeah,
he's also Belgian, by the way. He's the Belgian number 2.
He is,
both Belgian keepers.
Yeah. With a Polish sounding name.
I won't say he's better than Sells, though.
No. I don't know.
I agree.
I think you just shiny new toy syndrome. The results of the poll are very interesting. Quite surprising. I'm pleased with it, actually. Yeah,
78% are saying Sells would be their number 1. 22 saying no. Look, again, this isn't a Sells bashing thing. I'm looking at it from the point of view of Turner to Sells.
And are we getting ahead of ourselves? We don't even know what division we're going to be in. So
yeah, I got the Hawaiian top on. It's fine. It's fine.
We're in the Premier League. Don't worry.
All right, let's talk about something positive, right? Callum Hudson-Odoi. Okay, I think the majority of us in the last stream, to a man, was saying, stop cutting in. It's too predictable. Yeah. I don't think any one of you is going to fess up and man up and say you weren't saying that.
I didn't say that.
No, 100% said that.
I said he should be forced to play on the right.
Why stop him doing something that is fantastic?
Yeah, that's what works. In fact, I think I said do it more.
As well.
We were joking about this yesterday. As you know, I used to play kickoff 2, sensible soccer, and pairs, right? And in all of these, you basically have like standard goals. So if you're in a certain position and you execute the same maneuver on the joystick or the joypad, it's a guaranteed goal. And it's like Hudson-Odoi's got a standard goal. And it's like every time we picked up the ball, we were like,
what?
Do it again. Do it again.
Iron Robin did it. Thierry Henry did it. A lot of forward.
Ribery did it from the other side.
Yeah.
He scored the same goal about 6 times.
It's like everybody's been saying on all the commentaries. Everybody knows what he's going to do. You can't stop him doing it.
It is. They could have stopped him, but they don't know their left from rights in Sheffield. So unfortunately, they kept turning the wrong way.
But it is an interesting point because I was watching the Liverpool Spurs game, and everyone knows Salah is always going to cut in from the right hand side, and Salah always cuts in from the right hand side. And okay, he's not been having the greatest season. He's still scoring, but it still goes in. So I'm now thinking, okay, if Callum Hudson-Odoi is good enough to do it, even though it's predictable to do it, and he's scoring, let's say, 1 in every 6 or 7 of those attempts. I don't know what the stats are. I'm just making it up. Then does it matter? It's a bit like the firing squad, isn't it? If you're standing in front of the firing squad, you know they're about to pull the trigger. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Can I just say as well that especially it works well, especially if you've got somebody like Tavares bombing down at the back, because then the defender has got to watch Tavares as well. Yeah. And if he makes a move towards Tavares, that lets Cho move in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what was working. That's what was working.
it's obviously something that he's used throughout his career from when he was a kid, probably. So there's a muscle memory attached to it as well. If you keep doing something often enough, you'll get better and better at it. But that's what bothers me with the times when he misses so badly. You're thinking you must practice this all the time. And yes, it's a trick that is very predictable. But saying that, we didn't take into account how poor their defense were, because he made them look really bad. He could have quite easily had 4 goals and nobody would have.
He is a very talented player, though, isn't he? We all know what his reputation was like before he got the injury, and he is supreme. I mean, he is very skillful, and he does get past players without having that blistering pace. And yesterday, when he put that first goal in, my first thought, to be honest, well, not my first thought. One of my thoughts was 3 million quid. Fucking, we've made some balls up to the transfer market, but 3 million.
Have you seen that Chelsea stat where I don't know who the 6 players are, but he scored more goals than their six of their forwards worth 250 million combined, and he cost 3 million. So I mean, he's having a great season. And yesterday, I thought he was on fire, as were a number of players. But my first thought was that Ryan Yates would have scored that as well.
You'd hope going into this Chelsea game at home that he's got something to prove as well. But yeah, no, it's fantastic. That first goal, especially because there was a real element of skill, because it sat up in a certain way, didn't he? And he had to hit it just right. If he'd got that wrong, that could have ended up anywhere. But that first goal was absolutely sublime. But he could easily have 4 goals yesterday, and they were poor enough to let him keep doing it. And he made them look amateurish yesterday. It is a skill that obviously he relies upon, and you can counteract it. You just don't let him cut in, basically.
You know
down the line. But
you know who else should have had 4 goals yesterday? Wood again. Wood missed at least 2 sitters. I mean, that first one where he put it left to the post and that header, that he's lost his purple patch. That should have been in the back of the net.
Yeah, but I think the timing of it's okay, because I would put Taiwo straight in for Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I would,
because he destroys Chelsea every time he plays. He's either had a goal or an assist, I think, in every game against Chelsea since we've been back. So I don't mind Wood coming out of form. He's done what he's needed to do. He's got us those key goals. Yeah, I think now it's time to tag in Taiwo. They both never seem to be fit at the same time either. It's just weird. It's weird. But very quickly,
neither of them ever seem to be fully fit, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think we need another striker, but that's the debate for after we stay up. There is 648 of you across the platforms. Hope you guys are well, but we're only on 104 likes. Please make sure you've hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's catch up with a couple of the renewals. We got Nick Clark with the 12th month. Happy anniversary. Why do we only play well against a good side? Sorry, and that's from Logan. And shout out to Logan. Logan's been sick, man. Little Logan YouTuber. He's been sick. He hasn't been able to play football for about 4 or 5 weeks. So everyone in the chat, get some hearts in for Logan. And Logan, we need you back on that pitch, man. You're going to be the next academy player coming through for Forest, hopefully. So feel better soon, bud. Jordan with the 20 months. Thank you so much, Jordan, you legend. Glenn with the 20 months as well. My God, loads of you coming up to 2 years now. And Jasper breaking through the 8 months as well. Jasper, you're an absolute legend. Sorry, yes?
No, I keep meaning to ask if that's Jasper that used to sit next to me at the City Ground. So if it is, just say yes in the chat, Jasper. If it is. I think it is. Yeah,
Carol showing her Yates agenda there. Okay, and just very quickly, there's still a few tickets left for the signed squad shirt from Football Prizes. If you want those last remaining few tickets, go grab them now. So the main prize is the away kit signed by the full squad. And if you hit ticket number 100 and they haven't messaged me to say that's been hit, you instantly win the home kit, which is signed by everyone. And you're still in the draw for the away kit as well. So just looking at it now, there's about 50 tickets left, and you've got just under a day to do that. And then they'll be joining, then they'll be doing the draw. And yeah, shout out to Laurie. Yes, we know you're on holiday with the Greeks, Laurie. Yeah, well, we're all freezing. Actually, it's been a nice day out here in England, so it's not too bad. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, and that is Murillo. Like, I saw his interview yesterday, and I'm not a very soppy or sentimental person, but I loved it, man. I just, you know what? It just, for me, it shows the character he is, that he knows he's not fluent in English yet. And instead of standing there with the translator, he was prepared to not sound silly, but you know what I mean? He was willing to take that risk just to try and practice and get used to the idea of speaking English in the English league and what have you. And I just thought that was just fantastic. And like, I just wanted him to get every word perfect and everything like that. And he's just ridiculous, man. Like on the pitch yesterday, I think Crypto, you were touching on it. The amount of blocks he made. I know it's against Sheffield, but still, it was at key points in the game.
Yeah. Yesterday, Murillo was my man of the match. I mean, he's usually the man of the match for us anyway, but yet to go that one step further when he plays so well on a regular basis anyway, just showed how good he really was yesterday. And don't get me wrong, Sells, Bolly, Cho had a brilliant game, but Murillo arguably saved more than Sells did in the end, because he made 4 or 5 crucial blocks. And I think he was just brilliant. I mean, he's been consistent all season. But yesterday was another standout performance for me. And without him making some of them blocks yesterday, we wouldn't have won. So he made a huge difference to the game yesterday as well. I just wanted to point out one quick thing as well, slightly off topic. Mark Clattenburg resigned and we got a VAR decision given for us yesterday.
That was not a foul. We'll come on to that.
Murillo, brilliant. My man of the match yesterday. I'm starting to think, actually, because I know we asked this before, if you had to sell Morgan Gibbs-White or Murillo, I think I said I'd sell Murillo, but now I'm starting to doubt myself, because he is literally, somebody said it on Twitter earlier, he's almost kept us up this season. He has made blocks, he has made defensive plays that have stopped us from losing points. So if there's any way we can keep him, I hope we can, but it looks like he's going to be going to a bigger club, so to speak.
Whoa, bigger club?
There aren't any bigger clubs than Forest. What are you on about?
Yeah, there is.
Who?
Not Nottingham Forest Academy. Come up, Ryan Yates, Joe Worrell. Don't get bigger than that, mate.
He cul-de-saced himself there, didn't he? And he couldn't get himself out. Rob, what are you saying about Murillo?
Well, I've got receipts for this one, because when we had if you had to keep one and sell the other, I think I was the only one that said
no.
Oh, fair enough. No, I mean, look, actually, both of them are very likable players, Gibbs-White and Murillo. You know, you both, they've both got leadership qualities. You both feel that they really care about the club. In the case of Murillo, this has been his breakthrough. You know, he's had a few games with Corinthians, like a dozen games, and then he's now in the Premier League. He's on, the whole world is watching his games right now. I think if we stay up, I think that Nuno has to have a little chat with him, presumably in Portuguese, and say, look, mate, wouldn't you rather have another season at Forest where you're going to be first on the team sheet and you're going to grow as a player, rather than go and be sort of like a bit part player at Liverpool, Man U, or somewhere like that? You know, people can stall their development a little bit. I mean, I don't want to go on about people like Jed Spence, but like some people just go too far too quickly. And I think there is an argument to be made for him. Just stay for another year.
Yeah.
And you know, that will you will grow as a player, and people will respect you for that loyalty. Now, obviously, if someone comes in and offers us 80 million or something, we may have to take it, right? Yeah. But you know, I saw some crap on one of the mainstream media saying like, "Oh, Forest have insisted you've got to pay at least 25 million for Murillo." I mean, are you dreaming, right? Yeah. We do not need to sell him. I mean, I know you're sensitive about this subject, but like, if we end up getting 30 million for Mangala, that should be enough to balance the books, right? So I'd much rather he's the sacrifice and we keep Murillo. So I don't know. I would be optimistic about keeping him, because he seems to have an affinity with the club and with the fans. And you know, I've seen it where he's made a match-saving tackle and he's turned to the fans and he's celebrated, right?
100%.
And he's that kind of player. And that's why he wanted to do that interview in English, because he wants to talk to the fans. He gets his energy from the fans, right?
I'll be honest.
Yeah,
It wasn't until the news came out about him changing his agent, and obviously depending on where we end up next season, didn't have any fear of him leaving. I think he's humble enough to know that he needs a time to grow. You can tell from what he was trying to say yesterday that he's grateful for the opportunity to come to he wanted to play in Europe, but he's ended up getting his dream of playing in the Premier League even sooner. He's grateful for that. He seems like a humble player. I don't think his head's going to be that easily turned. But the news when he got a new agent kind of made me think, well, maybe it's not just him, it's the people behind the scenes. They know, obviously, he's an asset and he's worth a lot of money. For me, Forest don't have to sell him, but if they do get an offer in excess of 50, 60 million, we're going to have to genuinely have a look at that. And obviously, we've got our own targets that we put on it. I would say if
his value will only go up, though. I think even if he stayed next season, his value will go up.
Long time it will. So I can't see him wanting to leave just because of that. It would have to be a really ridiculous offer that we can't refuse, to be honest. But no, I don't want him to go.
I feel like a little bit of reality into the situation, right?
There we go.
I mean, guys, you're so naive. I find I'm staggered. Murillo, maybe it's because I'm so experienced, being so old and everything. But Murillo is a Brazilian footballer. He ain't a Forest fan. I'm telling you that now. He ain't a Forest fan.
Yeah, he is.
Right? He's a Brazilian footballer. And if Real Madrid, Manchester City, Arsenal come in for him, he will fucking run his socks off to get there. He has got no affinity with
he needs to be playing because, like Rob said, you don't want him to do a jet spin.
He's a Brazilian footballer.
But Danilo is a Brazilian footballer.
No, listen to what I'm saying. He thinks he's the best in the world. This is how Brazilians think.
He is. He is the best in the world.
Right. So he's going to get in wherever he goes, isn't he?
I don't know.
You think he's going to stay at Forest because he gets an our shitty first team in front of 30,000 when he could be playing for Real Madrid in front of
but would he start for Real Madrid?
Come on. Just take your Forest goggles off and try and be realistic. I love the guy, but I've already resigned myself, like with Stan Collymore, that he's going to go. And Murillo will go. If he gets the chance...
I'm not resigned to it, no.
He will go. Because he's a young Brazilian footballer with no affinity to Nottingham Forest whatsoever.
Don't you think he loves Forest?
He loves
Don't
Forest,
you think he listens to Nuno?
He's not here yesterday, Ant.
He's got a Forest tattoo on his arm.
Come on. It's like when Wolfie's saying, Nuno said, oh, well, I trust Nuno. He wouldn't lie. Of course they lie. They all lies. It's all PR.
When did I say that?
I think you're a cynic. You cynic.
When Nuno said about one of our players come back, I said, well, just be careful because he could be playing mind games. No, Nuno wouldn't lie to us. Are you mad?
I didn't see a receipt on that.
Does he go straight in the Liverpool team? Does he go straight in the City team?
Yes, and yes.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think. I've seen Liverpool take our best players, Clough, Collymore, and then say this shit.
I'm not going to let you do this to me because I'm just going to cut off and I'm just going to obliterate all the crap from outside, right? Because you're talking bollocks.
Nah. What are you going to do, man?
And if he goes to Man City, he would be in their team.
Yeah, but he wouldn't start. He wouldn't be in the starting lineup. He's good enough. He wouldn't. They wouldn't choose him. They wouldn't.
And Man City bought I can never say his name.
Straight into the team and stayed there all
he didn't get straight into the team. They're playing him out of position at left back. They're playing him out of position.
He's in the teammate. He's in the team.
He's not good enough to play in his correct position.
He's in the best team in the world. What more do you want from the guy?
They're not the best team in the world.
When would he start?
They are. They actually are.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
They're going to win the Champions League this year.
That's a cup competition. That means fuck all. Does the best team always win the cup?
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
2 stars.
Take that back. Take that back.
It was different then. Because we were only champions in it then. They were only champions.
Question: who was City dropping for Murillo to make the starting lineup?
Right, so John Stones plays every game, does he? Ruben Diaz plays every game, does he?
England international.
Does Murillo play every game for Forest?
I've not finished yet. I've not finished yet. There's plenty more. I could go through about 8 defenders that don't play every game for them. So stop talking so narrowly.
No. Does Murillo play every game for Forest?
Yes.
Yeah.
First on the team sheet.
Okay. Yeah. So your argument goes to poo.
No, you madman. Would you rather play 20 games and win a European Cup and League Championship and FA Cup?
Can I come back with some reason?
Or would you rather play 38 and be fucking against relegation every week?
Can I come back with some reason?
Yes, go on, Rob. You're in next.
It is in Murillo's interests to play another season at Forest and to develop as a player.
No, shut up. I'm not interested in what you got to say because you're talking bollocks, right?
Hey, shut up, man. Let him finish.
Firstly, do you think that Murillo listens to Nuno?
He listens to FFTV. That's more important.
Right. And Nuno's going to say to him, "You
not
will
at
learn."
all. Nuno won't be here next season. The guy's a loser.
I'm talking to a child. Right. Look.
What are you talking about?
Let him finish, man. Let him finish.
If he plays 40 games.
When Rob answers a question, it takes 3/4 of an hour to answer it.
Because I can't keep interrupting him.
Get away,
keep interrupting him.
Stop. Mute him. Right. So.
Hang on a second. Who the fuck are you? Do you want me to get rid of you, mate? Because I can get rid of you. Dead easy.
All right. Time out. Rob.
Bye.
Hey, stop making me press buttons.
Bye.
And right. Breathe. Rob. Rob.
Right. Murillo.
Hold on. Time out.
Oh, just wait.
I'm breaking the rules here.
Hold on. Time out.
Yeah.
Time out. It's like my freaking kids give me less headache than you lot. Seriously, right? Anne's not getting muted, and Anne's not going to interrupt. Rob, you got 2 minutes to defend Murillo. Then Anne can come back in, right? And that's how we're going to play this. So, Rob, over to you. And not a word for 2 minutes. Go, Rob.
So, going by what Murillo said in his English interview, it was his dream to play in Europe. So from the point of view, he's sitting at Corinthians. He doesn't mind where he goes in particular. He's not a Forest fan. He doesn't mind as long as he lands somewhere and he makes a success of it, right? Now, he has made a success of his European football career, right? He's on the radar. He's got what he dreamed of. Now, I don't know what his relationship was like with Steve Cooper, but I can tell that he's got a chemistry with Nuno and he listens to Nuno and he will take career advice from Nuno. Now, the key to keeping Murillo for next season is that we show the ambition and we tell him we're going to sign other good players that's going to take the team forward and we're going to be making a push for the top half of the table, right? Because, who's going to want to hang around for another relegation scrap? It's not good for anybody's mental health, right? But you hang on to Murillo, you hang on to Gibbs-White, you add some good players, it could be quite good next season, next year. Now, in terms of his own career, if he takes the advice that Nuno's going to give him, the advice that Nuno's going to give him is, you play 40 games for us next year, you are going to develop far more as a player than you are going to be sitting on Tottenham's bench or Man United's bench. You're going to develop far more as a player. Then you move on at the end of next season and you go straight in at number 1 at one of these teams. Don't jump the gun.
Well, you have... it's a while since I've heard Jackanory, actually. I've missed it. I mean, Nuno's going to... He takes notice of what Nuno says. Nuno interferes. What a load of Tommy rot, rather. Do you really think he listens to Nuno Espirito Santo?
Yes.
That guy. That guy
in
that's come
Portuguese.
in and done that guy that's come in and matched Steve Cooper's record. This fantastic manager, when he could have Pep Guardiola on the phone. Sorry, Pep, I'm listening to Nuno. Are you serious? Are you actually serious?
The disrespect to Nuno.
Players do have loyalty, even in these days.
Hold on, let him finish.
Nuno's going to get the sack because he's rubbish. So it doesn't matter whether he has any influence or not. So you think that Murillo, this wonder kid, is going to listen to fucking Espirito Santo rather than Pep Guardiola or Mikel Arteta or Ancelotti? Really?
Mikel Arteta's overrated, though.
Okay, I back out then. You're obviously right and you're more than me.
Can I just make one point? Because don't forget that Ant single-handedly retired Felipe on one of these streams. So we don't want him to resign Murillo from the club.
Yeah, I think Ant just wants Murillo gone.
I think he's got Murillo.
He wants him to go so he can win the argument.
When we had that discussion about NGW or Murillo, I said not get rid of, but I'd let Murillo go before NGW because I thought it'd be easier to replace. That boils down basically to the fact is I know that as a young Brazilian megastar, he's going to want to go. NGW, we might be able to persuade him to stay with us. That's the reason.
I think he's got more
committed to Forest and wanted to stay at Forest. I'd pick Murillo every time. He is unbelievable.
Who do you think right now? Who do you think we'd get a bigger price tag for, Murillo or MGW?
Morgan Gibbs-White.
Nah, Murillo.
Yes,
I think Murillo right now.
100% Morgan Gibbs-White.
I'm reading these comments.
I think unless I did back.
If we stay up and Murillo stays and Nuno stays on as manager, I'm reading these comments. We're going to own your comments too. Okay?
I always own my comments.
The crap that's on the right of me. I'm naive. It's all about money. I don't know anything. Players,
they're right, mate. They're right.
Players have loyalty. Look how long Harry Kane stayed at Tottenham. Harry Kane stayed at Tottenham.
Yeah, but he's at Spurs. It's a different club. It's a big six.
And not only that, he's a Spurs fan. Rare. He's not coming from a foreign country to a club he's never heard of. You know what I mean? He's grown up.
Anyway,
have you ever gone and worked abroad? Have you ever gone and worked abroad? Because you keep saying, like, as a young Brazilian teenager, I didn't realise that you were a young Brazilian teenager, Everett. But have you ever gone and worked abroad?
I've worked abroad a lot. I've worked in Germany, Sweden.
Brazil?
So did you feel some loyalty to your employer? Did you feel at home when you were living there? All right. Well, we're obviously very different because I did.
If somebody come and said, "And we're going to double your money," mind you, year 2000, they had to give me £10,000 just to stay. So yeah, I was loyal then.
Rob, what you don't know is that Pep Guardiola rang Ant one day and said, "Look, mate, I need you to come and play for me."
There's also the financial aspect. If they offer him a new contract, because obviously he's probably on quite a low wage, right? If you've got Chris Wood on 90k and Origi on 200 or whatever, right?
120.
If they could offer him a new contract, so that's another way that they can get him to stay. So we have got the money to pay him top whack. If that is an issue, we can pay as much as anybody else.
All right, let me make 2 points, and then I'll bring it as in. All right, 2 points for me. Let me said it. He's under contract for 6 years. Yeah, yes, Forest are in no rush to sell. I know contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Okay, that's one thing.
Toilet statement then. So number one we can ignore. Next.
It is true though.
Point now, you bastards, man. It was a good one.
What Ant's saying though.
Oh wait, no, I remember. Shut up before I forget. Right, and to the point, I think Morgan Gibbs-White gets us more money because he is more hyped. He is English and he's homegrown. Yeah, that's a commodity and a half. Try and dismiss that one, Ant. Try and dismiss that one.
Ant's just selling this argument based on him being Brazilian.
Yeah, Murillo is. You can see his class in every game. Morgan Gibbs-White, come on, guys. We've all said it all through the year, half the time.
I agree, but I'm talking the perception. If you ask any person who's not a Forest fan, who's Forest's best player, none of them will say Murillo. They'll say Morgan Gibbs-White.
I can't see.
I agree, but they're fans. They're not the people that are going to be buying him and putting him.
Yeah, but look at the pundits. Look at the pundits. They send the same thing. Your Jamie Redknapp, your twat, Neville, and all that.
Yeah, but
that creates ideas.
He doesn't walk into Real Madrid and Man City. Morgan Gibbs-White doesn't walk into Real Madrid and Man City.
Yeah, Murillo, I don't think he gets into Spurs.
Murillo could play for them. I don't think he'd start, but...
Guys, your take on it. I just need to grab a drink, so go ahead.
Not many left-footed.
My last word, but very quickly. When you say start for them, I assume you're saying he won't start every game. Well, no player's guaranteed to start every game. Even De
No,
Bruyne.
but the point that Rob made, you don't want him for. I mean, not necessarily for Forest, but for his own development. You don't want him to become like a.
I don't give a shit about his own development.
You
Once he's
wouldn't
left
want
Forest, he's not our player, is it?
That's what we're discussing. He's not going to make.
No. I'm discussing that he will want to go. He will want to go, is what I'm discussing. That's it.
Well,
Whether it's good for him or not, I actually agree. He'd be better off having another year at Forest. I agree with that for his development. But Brazilians don't think like that.
Well, what about Danilo? Do you think Danilo's going to go?
If he got a chance, he would, but I don't think he'll get a chance. But I think he would. Yeah, of course he would.
Well, I think
they're not even English. They're not even Nottingham. They're not.
Hang on, so when you agree with my point, why do you go to such lengths to argue against it then? You've just said you agree that it would be better for his development to stay for another year.
I never doubted that. I never, ever doubted it'd be better. It's like Jono would have been better off having another year at Forest. There's never any doubt about that. They go to, a lot of players go to early
adamant that he's going to go this summer, aren't you? That's your argument, isn't it, Ant? That he's going to go this summer regardless of it.
If he
gets we don't know what's in his head.
Will, yeah.
I don't think we know what's in his head.
If Forest accept it, yeah.
And you got a question from Si.
Why?
That's going to be our next topic. I've just come back. You lot stop bickering.
I would never said anything anyway. But I was just going to say, no, I think a left-sided centre-back is quite a hot commodity. If you look at Branthwaite, the likes of, Dijk, Virgil van Dijk, he's not going to be around forever. He's coming towards the end of his career. They're going to be looking for a left-sided, left-footed centre-back. They're the ones that in the Premier League, they're the ones that actually think that are most likely to get him. I don't think he'd go to Man City. If he went to Man City, Pep will probably play him as a CDM, which is what Crypto's
he probably would. Yeah,
he probably
or
would.
Left winger, or
push him up, or play him on the
left. That's because me and Pep have got the same mindset. Play him as CDM.
Yeah, I've always said that.
That's exactly why.
Branthwaite is more hyped than Murillo. Plus he scores. So I think he's probably top of the shopping list.
He's going Man U apparently. All right, let's get on to this Nuno discussion. We haven't really talked about the manager for a while. So as Simon said in his comment, Ant's got an agenda against Nuno. Yeah. I'm still Nuno in. Let me put my cards on the table. Has Nuno blown my mind this season? No. Do I think he needs the summer and a pre-season? Yes. Do I think Forest need to sort their pre-season crap out? Because if we have another pre-season like we did for the last 2 years, then get ready for another season of utter again. Why are we not on these American tours? Like even Fulham went on it last season. But that's the debate we'll have in the summer, right? For me, Nuno needs a window and he needs his players. He needs no PSR over his head. He needs no AFCON and no things like that. I don't think Nuno is going to be our long-term solution, but I think Nuno will be the stepping stone to establish Forest as a Premier League club. And then you'll probably find in 2-3 years' time, we're going to look to quote-unquote upgrade. That's my feelings on it. However, we will see. For me, I think he needs this window, and then we start judging him, for me personally, at the start of next year. I'll start with you, Ant, just because I know your stance on it, which is basically the opposite. So where are you with Nuno? And how do you think he's done?
Yeah, I don't think he's done very well at all. His record's no better than Cooper's. I mean, cold, hard facts. And he started off really well. I was excited. I didn't want him in because I know he's a defensive coach. But he surprised me with the first few games. I thought, wow, maybe I was wrong. But slowly but surely, he's reverted back to type, and we're starting to play the same old boring shit. Nothing's changed. Well, little has changed. And perhaps been a bit unfair because I do think that with Cooper, we would have gone down. And at least with Nuno, we haven't done. So he's obviously done something. So I'll give him credit for that. But I don't see him as a progressive manager for our club. I don't see him taking us on to better things. However, if he does, nobody will be happier than me. I can promise you. There's no agenda. I want him to succeed, because I support Forest, not Player FC or Manager FC. So I'm willing to give him a chance. Of course, I've got no choice, have I? But I'll still be hoping. I'll still be hoping next season that he turns it around and he brings in his own players and we see a better style of football. Look, when a manager is picking what is so obviously the wrong team, and playing the wrong formations, it does give me cause for concern. And
I agree.
I know it's when a manager picks repeatedly, game after game after game, picks and I don't want to go in on Ryan because he's a great guy, but picks Ryan Yates over Dominguez. To me, there's something not right in that manager's head. His substitutions are awful.
It's been every manager.
They're mostly late. Yeah. Mostly too late, which is, you're right. It's a thing that a lot of fans complain about with a lot of clubs, too late substitutions. And I just don't see any progression. But yeah, like I say, give him the summer. Let's see. But no, I'm not a fan. He's got to convince me. He's not doing it at the moment. And that's it, really.
I think
let's get Ez in. Ez, just before I bring you in, just let me catch up on the super chats. Nick with the 4.99. Do you think we'll have another clear out at the end of the season and sign lots more players like always? Thank you for the super chat. We won't be discussing that tonight. We'll do a stream on that once we know our position. We'll do a buy, sell, keep, whatever the thing's called. Snug. What is it? Snug,
marry, avoid.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, we'll do one of those ones. Something like that. Oh, Logan's watching with him.
We should do it for Ryan Yates.
Anyway, enough Ryan Yates. Right, Ez, where are you on Nuno?
I think we have to go back and revisit what our expectations were when he came in, because I'll say what I said at the time, that as long as we finish above that dotted line, that he's done his job. And do I think he walked into a shit show? Yep. Do I think his hands were tied with at the January transfer window due to our FFP or PSR dealings? Yes. Do I think he had some tough injuries and AFCON to deal with? Yes. All those things combined, there's been times when I've been annoyed with his substitutions and the way he's impacted games. He's been reactive rather than proactive at times with things like that. So there have been things along the way that have annoyed me. But would I say he's been, if he keeps us up, would he be a failure? No. I think he's done what he was supposed to do in a very tough set of circumstances. So I would be willing to, and I think he deserves to be given this transfer window as well. Don't forget, he's got Mendes with him as well. We can't not explore that. We can't not explore that avenue and see what players potentially over summer. There's obviously going to be more players available, more targets we're linked with, because he came in a couple of days before the January transfer window opened up. Didn't give us much time for preparation, and most of our business again was done on transfer deadline day or in and around it. But January was poor for everybody, so you can't really judge anybody on that January transfer window.
Brought in a good goalie though, Ez. He brought in a good goalie. He brought in a good goalie.
He did. So I mean, for all those reasons or excuses, call them what you like, but my expectation was for him to keep us above the dotted line, and if he does that, I think he does deserve a summer window, and he deserves a chance to see what he can instill, because he did have a very good Wolves team. They were very competitive, mate.
7-7, 13th.
Yeah. So that Nuno's still there. I mean, I know Brucey talked about him being a bit of a
Brucey's with Ant, man. He's like,
he was cursing him for going over to Saudi, but who wouldn't? Who wouldn't go over there? If your money's guaranteed, you go over there. He came back though because he needed something competitive, and he got an opportunity at Nottingham Forest. And I don't think he's really taken it like he would have expected, that some of us hoped at times. But if he keeps us above the dotted line, as far as I'm concerned, from what I expected, he's done enough, and he does enough to deserve to stay in the job until the season starts.
Well, just to jump in there, and Ez, I'm getting live feedback on what you're saying from our mates over at Forest All Over. Freaking Chris, Mr. Frank LeBeouf lookalike, he's saying Ez is right. ... for once. So he's fully agreeing with you. He said if we survive, Nuno stays in. Give him pre-season, and he's had a lot to contend with. Mentally for the team, not just with the result, but what he's done to a team too. So if we survive, deserves the summer. If we go down, of course he goes. Now, Chris is like me and Matt taking the piss out of him, trying to get him to get a Cooper tattoo, because I know secretly he'd take Cooper back tomorrow, a bit like Rob, right? But so shout out to Chris. Make sure you listen to their podcast.
Invalidated his opinion by saying that. You do know that.
I know. Yeah. Matt's not though. Matt's more level-headed than Chris. 100% more. Oh, sorry, it's not Frank LaBeouf. It's Bruce Willis. He's saying to me, it's not. It's Frank or it's the Stephen Island. But make sure you listen to their podcast. Chris, get that podcast out, man. I need to hear your Irish rant on it. So make sure you check them out on Spotify as well. Rob, where are you with Nuno?
So quickly, this discussion is probably about a week too early. If we are relegated, he is a failure. End of story. No excuses, right? There's some positives and some negatives. In the positives, I think he deserves some credit for the 4-2-3-1 because we'd never tried that before, and he's made that our identity, and it has worked in some games. He's deserves some credit for Chris Wood, his form, and Hudson-Odoi. And as Ant said, we were told at the time we signed Sells that Nuno specifically wanted him. If that's the case, then he should get the credit for that because he's filled that hole with a very capable goalkeeper. In terms of the negatives, it's failure to address two things that have really been against us. Firstly, defending corners. And secondly, these games where we just get overrun in midfield. And we've had too many of them recently. He keeps saying we need to improve. I'm thinking like, Nuno, you've got to improve soon.
Yeah, but Rob, that's because he starts Ryan Yates every match.
Well, look, that's
no more Ryan Yates talk.
That's all part of the discussion. But, I think if you ask me in a week, if we've stayed up, I don't like changing managers. I don't think it's good for the club if you just continually revolt. And remember, he's had basically no money to spend. I know. What did Sells cost us? Like
5 mil, 5 mil, I think. Yeah.
Walnut Whip or something. It was like it was nothing.
Right.
So honestly, if he's going to identify what signings we need this summer, and if he's given the financial backing, we could see a very different Forest next year. But let's wait for another week before we discuss his future.
I think we need to wait till 3 months into the new season before we discuss his future.
We're in the Championship, then you have to ask, is he the right person?
It's funny. Wolfie asked Jimmy if Wilder was a failure because he asked him, was he brought in to save him from going down? He said, yes.
Trapped him so nicely with that.
Yeah, but he asked back, will Nuno be a failure if you go down? And you were wishy-washy. And I was screaming at the telly, yes, absolutely, he'd be a failure if we go down.
I wasn't wishy-washy. I just didn't want him to divert away from Wilder. And yes, he would be a failure. But there's 2 points I want to make back to what Rob said. Firstly, go and follow Forest all over. Yeah, just go and press follow if you got Spotify, iTunes, whatever. It's pinned in the chat. Honestly, if you think us lot argue, you should hear those two, right? Pinned in the chat. Go show them some love. We are gonna have them on soon, right? But being an ex-Chelsea player, it's really hard to tie him down to a commitment. But Rob, the point I want to make back to you is, if Forest do go down, surely it would make more sense to keep Nuno because you can't attract.
Absolutely, that is a discussion, isn't it? Because is he above average for the level of manager in the Championship, especially some of the ones that we've had, Steve Cotterill? Yes, he's way above that level, right? But having just got us relegated, is he necessarily the person to bring us back? Gary Mason,
he's got a track record. He got Wolves promoted. Didn't he? Yeah. But
what I'm saying is, it's a completely different discussion. Is he the best manager for another season in the Premier League? Is he the best manager to get us promoted from the Championship? Let's wait for a week before having this discussion in detail.
Okay, but before we wait a week, let's see what Crypto says without saying Yates.
Well, I mean, just to pick up on Rob's second point, he said one of the things that was bad this season was not controlling the midfield. We know the reason why that is. But I agree with Ez. I mean, I think you've got to give him the transfer window to see who he brings in, because I think the things I've disagreed with him this season, where he does things like bringing Origi on, and the consistent playing of Wood when he seems a bit out of form, he doesn't really have a choice because there's a lack of squad depth in some of those positions. So it would be nice to see who he brings in and how that would react to things going forward. I don't like his substitutions. Obviously, the set piece things is massive. Whoever's on set pieces just needs to go because it's become a joke, hasn't it? All season, it's nearly every game.
What's his name again? Simon? Is it Simon Fleck? I've forgotten.
I don't know, but
Yates' goal was from a
But
set
he's not
piece.
there.
the other thing that I don't really like is in some of the interviews, like for example, where people have been saying, is this points deduction affecting you? And he kind of goes all in. He's like, yeah, it's really negative. It's affecting us. It's making the players feel down. As a manager, I would prefer it if he said no. And he had that position to be able to bring the players out of that mindset. But to me, it's like he's kind of driving them into a negative mindset. And I don't
Look how Sean Dyche did it, Ben. He did it. He was like,
I prefer a manager like Sean Dyche who's just, hardcore, go mad at them. Nuno seems a bit more like, I don't know. He looks sad to me. Cooper? He looks sad, and I think that will have a knock-on effect to the players. If the person who is effectively leading you is making you feel down, not on purpose, but they're not bringing you out of that mindset, then I think that could be, and I think that has impacted us this season. We've seen games where they just look like they don't care, and that's got to stop with the manager at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's hard because he, like Ant said, he came in at the start. He looked really positive. He made positive attacking football, but then something switched and it turned around into this kind of negative, negative thoughts, negative tactics, negative substitutions. And it depends which way it goes. And I don't know which way it will go, but if he keeps us up, I'd keep him on. If he gets us relegated, then I'd definitely let him go. I wouldn't keep him.
I think it makes sense the other way around. If we go down, he stays. If we stay up, then have the discussion. That would be my stance.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But if he takes us down, people will dislike him, won't they?
Yeah, but then that's hypocritical with the whole, if Cooper takes us down, he's the best man to get us back up. Where are all those people?
Rob comment. I didn't say
that.
I didn't say
I'm by it as well.
They're the same people.
Yeah.
Even if Cooper had won us the Premier League, no, I won't say that.
Let's not
These
get
are
that
the same people who are waiting for Yates to do something so they can say, "Oh, where's all the Yates haters?"
Yeah.
If we went down, it'd be like, "Oh,
that was a joke, by the way." All the Cooper caught out there who laid flowers.
They're still there. They're waiting for Nuno to fail.
And just on this comment, just on this comment, you were really desperate for Nuno and Sangare to succeed. We can't have sentiment. I think it'd be hard pressed, surely, to find a Forest fan that doesn't want Nuno or Sangare to succeed.
What does that mean?
I don't get that comment.
I want Yates to succeed. I want
to succeed. I wanted Cooper to succeed. I wanted them all to succeed. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way, and you have to make changes.
That's weird.
And if Nuno and Sangare succeed, what does that mean for Forest? It means that we're doing well. So this is what I'm saying. There are a group of people waiting to see Nuno fail, so they can say that, Cooper, you want the Cooper gone. What's your Wonder Boy done? As if you can't criticize both. We've criticized Nuno at times. We've criticized his substitutions, his team selections, and we continue to do it. But we've been constructive in that. It was the same with Cooper, but with Cooper, it got to a point where you were talking to a brick wall. There was no response until, I don't even think he gave us a good response until Rob came on and actually tried to defend that side of the argument. But most of it, you got, but he got us promoted. That was the only argument from a Cooper Coulter. So I want to see a better argument. I want to see
that was your argument, Rob. That was your
the one thing that's slightly
rewatch it. Now, I remember I said I was going to make all the arguments except for that one.
All right, fair enough. It was a good debate. It was a good debate.
Can I just say one thing? The one thing that's slightly disappointing for me about the Premier League is that realistically, let's say we stay up, what is our aim next season? And we can't say European place. It's not going to happen.
Win the league.
It's not going to happen next season.
Europe.
That's rubbish. What? In the Championship, you drive for promotion, right? If you're a good team in the Premiership, you drive for Europe. You drive for the Premier League title. What do the teams like Everton and Fulham and Crystal Palace drive for? What are they actually trying to accomplish?
Europe.
I can tell you what the goal is next year.
Realistic. It's a long term.
Say that to Villa. Say that to Brighton.
I'll tell you what the goal is next year.
Yeah, but it's
something that we haven't had. Something that we haven't had for the last 2 years.
West Ham won a cup.
I just want us to be comfortable.
Well, that's like West Ham beat Luton.
Stress free.
I want us to be where Fulham and Bournemouth are this season. That's where I want us to be.
Yeah, if you
not
go
worrying with 2 games to go.
Well, remember what the long game is here, right? If you go back to what Randall KC said before he disappeared, he wants the squad to get to a level of maturity where we can cope with having half the ground missing, right? We have to upgrade the stadium, right?
What, you mean like Sheffield yesterday where they had half their fans missing?
I know, that was disgraceful, wasn't it? There were so many empty seats. That would never be the case at the City ground, right? But what I'm saying is the goal for next year is not any particular position. It's just to be comfortable. It's just to be comfortable and to feel like we're not in a life or death struggle every goddamn week, every minute.
It's exciting, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to be comfortable and then to say at the end of the year, right, we're doing the stadium, we're doing the Peter Taylor stand.
Yeah, but Rob, what would grumpy old Reds be like? Just be like, yeah, we won again.
I think we'll still find things to complain about.
Yeah. Come on, we've just beaten Sheffield United away 3-1, and we started off slagging our players off.
Exactly.
Only a grumpy old Reds. Yeah, all right, you want to talk about this?
Is Sangare the worst buy in Forest? No, he's not the worst buy in the last year. Have you forgotten Turner? Have you forgotten John Joe Shelby? Now, come on, people.
Oh, he was playing against Joe Worrell. I've seen the highlights of that game.
What about, I mean, it's a few years ago now, but what about Harry Arter? Do you not feel that could have been a worse signing?
And also, Sangara's not getting in the team. Yeah, everyone still wants to twist the knife in on him. I mean, again, I tell people very simply, learn from your own mistakes and be man enough to learn from your mistakes. Chris Wood, for me, worst signing I'd ever seen last year. Without Chris Wood's goals this year, where would we be? Okay. So, don't jump to your conclusions. I've made the mistake. I'm sure you lot have made the mistakes of doing that. And if you're gonna pick on someone who's gonna be crap, pick on someone who's not got a track record of being good. That's what I'd say to you. Remember, all your comments, the live chat replay is on. It's there in history now. Watch loads of these comments get deleted now, We can go back to them anytime, 10, 20 years from now. We'll see what Matty just said there.
And we will.
And we're sad enough to do it. We're sad enough to do it. Well, Rob will do it. Rob will do a whole stream on it.
Well, especially if Murillo stays. I've bookmarked a whole bunch of comments.
No, Rob, I can just misunderstood my point, Rob. I didn't say he was definitely going. What I said was, if he had the opportunity to join Real Madrid, Manchester City, etc., he would take that opportunity. Now,
he won't start for them, so it's pointless.
Okay, let's finish with this question because it's nearly 8:30, right? And it comes off what Sai said here in the chat. I don't want to be a vanilla Prem team. So let me ask you this, Ez, right? If you knew Forest were going to survive, would you rather this season we survived 12th and had a boring season, 1-1, drew 1, lost 1 on repeat, or survive in a tense game in one of the final 2 games of the season?
You know, the way this particular season's gone, I don't want to go through that ever again.
Yeah,
it's been some of the worst football I've ever seen. We've had fallouts from the fan base for sacking a manager, for bringing a new manager in, for players that have been injured who we thought should never play for the team again, and they've come back and they've proved us wrong. Overall, this has been one of the worst seasons. I think we've all mentioned it at some point. This has been one of the most stressful, put it that way, most stressful seasons I've been through. So no, I do not want to go through this again. I would be much happier.
It hasn't been stressful. You've just been pessimistic, thinking we're going to get relegated.
No. Actually, if we're going to talk receipts, we're going to go back over what we said coming into these games.
That don't count.
I was quite calm. I could see what the route was going to be. And the route was always going to be that we were going to beat Sheffield United.
Exactly. Free win.
That was always going to happen. That was always going to happen. Anyway, no, I don't want to go through what we went through again this season. I would much rather have at least one season, if not even 2 seasons, of mid-table obscurity, because mid-table obscurity in the Premier League is much more palatable for me than the mid-table obscurity we used to have in the Championship. Because everyone thinks we were so great in the Championship. We'd have a good season.
We would not.
Really good season.
Crap.
And we never had 2 good seasons in a row. It just never happened for Forest. So
we kept missing out on the playoffs. It's so annoying. Wolfie's given me a really bad thought. He said, we sat
again
here and Wood has come good and stuff. I've just got this like really bad feeling that it's like transfer deadline day 2025 and Matt Turner signs for Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, if he does, it means he's done well.
At least he goes. At least he leaves Forest.
But to the point that Wolfie was asking, I'm kind of with Ez, and it's been so not just this season, last season, and indeed the season before at the end were very, very stressful. So I'm with Ez. I'd like a year or 2, but I can promise you this: we all say it now, but you have a year or 2 of Crystal Palace-ness, and you want some excitement.
Yeah, but and we'll probably be sat here next week with Luton beating West Ham, and we've lost against Chelsea. And it'll be.
Why say that? Why say that?
It could happen, but that don't matter because we also have 2 points back.
But West Ham are on the beach. That's my worry. That's my only worry.
West Ham are awful.
It's that Fulham and West Ham are on the beach. They can't get a European player. No, but I'm not scared of Burnley. But look, no, Burnley are out of it. But Luton has still got that passion and that fight. That Ryan.
Shut up!
Ryan Yates fight
when you lose in game 4, 5, 6. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but
West Ham won one game in 18 or something stupid like that. One game.
Yeah, West Ham
one game in 18.
Chelsea.
It's like in the preview stream, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, Sheffield United, they'll be up for it, or they'll be relaxed because they're relegated." I said, it doesn't matter what they think and what they do; they're shit.
Yeah, but they're just crap.
We should beat them.
But I don't think Luton are that crap. They're not a Sheffield United.
They're crap. They are that crap.
Well, can we say,
how many games have they won this season?
Exactly. And at home as well, right?
They've won 2 less games than us.
6.
Won 8.
Yeah,
6.
Yeah, we're shit. So come on.
2 teams.
I mean, in comparison to Sheffield United.
Listen, the 2 teams are playing away from home for our last 2 games. Like I said in the last stream, they've got the worst home records, both of them. And that was Sheffield, who only won 2 at home, and Burnley have only won 2 at home all season. And that's who we're going to in the last day of the season. Why are we worried, guys? Why the hell? Why should we be worried?
Because it's Forest, Ez.
Listen, yes, I know, but Nuno's just doubled in away wins what Cooper got in 2 seasons. So, like, he's got two away wins already. So
we could have done that, man. It's not hard, man. You had to win 1 game, man.
It wouldn't surprise me.
We won again as well.
It wouldn't surprise me if the last game of the season, 17-goal swing with Burnley and they beat us 18-0.
Oh my God.
That's what Stoke did, remember?
Exactly.
But there was no crowd there. There was no crowd there that day. There'll be a crowd there this time, and they'll get Forest over the line because we'll make more noise than them at Burnley.
This PC. Can I just remind you all, we did actually win yesterday. Can we just remember that point? Yeah.
Didn't feel like it.
We beat the team I hate, like right up there. Yeah. And like, cheer up, you grumpy old gits, man.
It won't happen. I've already laid out what would happen. I've literally guessed the whole thing correct all the way through. We lose against Chelsea, we win against Burnley, we stay up, it's all fine.
You literally just said we'll lose 18-0 to Burnley. Make your mind up.
I don't think they'd score more than 10 past us.
But it's a double point tally. That would be a 20-goal swing.
Crypto has been saying we're definitely going to lose to Sheffield. We're definitely going to lose to Sheffield.
I've never said that. I said we'd beat them 8-0.
You did.
But we didn't.
WhatsApp's not a real place. It's like Twitter. By the way, can I just do a shout out? Because I looked yesterday and I nearly threw up because I've got less followers than Jimmy on Twitter. I'm about 25 followers away from that Sheffield scum. So if you could just follow FFTV Crypto Rider on Twitter and get me above Jimmy, that would be brilliant.
I can't believe you checked that. Rob's getting darker and darker. All right, let's finish with a couple of positives. You miserable gits, right? Rob, who was your man of the match yesterday?
Murillo. Believe it or not, Murillo, despite Callum Hudson-Odoi's amazing goals, Murillo stopped us from getting steamrolled. There was a period after Hudson-Odoi equalised. It's probably about the most excruciating 15, 20 minutes of football I've watched this season. It was on a par with the end of the Liverpool game. We were just getting, it was like heart in mouth every couple of minutes. And Murillo kept us in that game. So, him.
Get your man of the matches in the chat as well. And who is your man of the match?
It's difficult. I would probably go Murillo, but Bolly also, Bolly makes such a hell of a difference to that back line. You know what I mean? We're so much more secure.
Don't forget as well, Nuno's not had Bolly for half the season. So it all makes a difference. These things all make a difference.
On Bolly, he did play a part in the second and third goal, but there were a couple of times where he screwed up quite badly. He got done by Archer. He got done by Archer in the first half. And then the second half was that Brereton Diaz shot that went just
he made that pass, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he played it straight back to him. So Bolly was hit and miss yesterday.
Yeah, but Bolly knows he had to give Sheffield some kind of chance just to make them look even worse.
Exactly.
That's why I would have started Matt Turner. I would have started Matt Turner, but no one agreed with me.
All right, and your man of the match, seeing that for once you got interrupted.
Obviously, Hudson-Odoi is in with a shout, but I'd go for Murillo because he was at times I've just propped up Bolly, but at times he was like a one-man defense. He was everywhere. So I'd have to give it to Murillo.
Okay, even though he doesn't support Forest,
Of course he supports Forest. Who said he didn't support Forest?
You did. Oh my God. That was your whole argument.
I don't think you've ever heard me say that. He's a passionate Forest fan. He had a picture of Robbo on his wall when he was a kid.
There you go. Ez is your man of the match.
I'm going to go with the goalkeeper. I think he made crucial saves. Well, he made important saves.
You can't just copy me.
Who's copying you? Who even watches you? Not us. We don't watch you anyway. I don't watch you. But even the mistake he made with that goal, with that kick out, he fixed it straight away, and he got down really quickly to save that shot. So I think crucial saves at important times yesterday that kept us in the game. I've got to give it to Sells, but there's a few more that could have easily got man of the match. So let's see if Crypto's got one different.
I mean, I've already said mine, but I'll say it again if you want.
Go on.
Did you say?
I said Murillo. No, I said Murillo. I thought Murillo.
Didn't Rob say Murillo as well?
Yeah, I thought Murillo was fantastic.
Okay, all three of you said Murillo.
Don't get me wrong. Cho and Sells were brilliant. I mean, we're talking minuscule differences here, but I thought Murillo was just brilliant. If Murillo didn't have those 4 blocks yesterday, effectively we would have lost or drawn the game, which against Sheffield is unacceptable.
I think just overall how well we play with Bolly in there. I think Bolly
was great as well. And don't forget as well, I know he didn't have a brilliant game, Morgan Gibbs White, but he did get the assist.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was dreadful yesterday.
Yeah, but he got the assist. He passed it through to Cho.
It doesn't matter. Look, people are going to stop with
it. You get an assist, it counts as well.
Listen, just go back to that first minute of the game. That chance he set up for Chris Wood, that very first minute of the game.
Yeah.
And the free kick for the Yates goal.
Yeah.
Should have buried it.
Ant's right.
You can't judge a player's performance by 1 or 2.
Yes, exactly.
You can if they don't get taken.
You can if they lead to goals. I'm not saying his whole performance.
Because you can be shit and set a goal up, but you can still be shit.
Or you can be shit and score a goal.
I didn't say it was great, but I don't think it was bad yesterday. I don't think it was shit by any sense.
I thought it was.
It was all right.
Not at the races. But anyway,
what about Danilo? Danilo's Brazilian. He's the best player on the pitch. He's going to get sold to Real Madrid.
I agree with Ant, not to that extent. I didn't think Morgan Gibbs White was great yesterday.
What did you give him a player rating?
I gave him a 6.
Whoa, no, he wasn't a 6.
How's that harsh?
6.5. 6.5.
It was right.
The chat gave him a 7.2, I think.
I don't
Do you
know.
know what?
Yeah, anyone can get an assist. Freaking Pickford got assist against Forest by punting the ball forward last season for their equaliser. Does that suddenly make him the best assister?
The one thing that I thought was pretty cool.
Assist. If you have a really good game and you're effective throughout the game and you have an assist as well, then you highlight it. Not only did you do that, but you got an assist. But when you're poor and you just happen to do one good ball during 90 minutes.
It makes
Chat, what did you rate Morgan Gibbs White yesterday?
Doesn't mean you played well.
Yeah, no, because Ant, you're right. There's a lot of people that stat pack. Oh, he got an assist, he's an automatic 8. Oh, he got a goal, he's an automatic 9. That's not football, man. That's not football. Get your Morgan Gibbs White 0 to 10.
We're all gonna obviously agree with you because they're our slickers, but no, he wasn't a 6.
No, because they have common sense.
No, it wasn't that's a below average score. He wasn't below average.
6 is an average score. You can't count.
No.
Well, I think he was
7 is average
anyway. So.
He was fine. He was fine. He was okay.
Can I say it works the other way around as well, that a player can have, like, for a particular game, can have what look like bad stats, but he could have put in 6 or 7 brilliant balls that the strikers didn't finish. He gets no assists, no recognition, nothing.
Yeah.
So
fully agree with you.
Assisting business, it's a load of old crap. Really.
Yeah, but you've got an agenda against Morgan Gibbs White. Like when you said his penalties don't count.
Well, you don't think penalties count anyway, so yeah.
Morgan Gibbs White would have no goals if it was
penalty. You don't have to be a striker to score a penalty. Let's not go down this road again. It's pretty obvious. Stuart Pearce scored loads of penalties. I wouldn't call him a great striker.
Not go down this road. Okay.
But can we all agree? I don't end on a negative, but look, should we not talk about Elanga today? We can do it another time. He was terrible.
No, because he was shocking. Let's not talk.
Okay. We won't do an Elanga thing, but again, another thing.
He stays in for Chelsea, though. He stays in for Chelsea. He destroyed Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. He stays in for that game, 100%.
Put Rayner in.
You know what?
I'm actually worried about that, but we'll get on to that on Friday.
We will cover that on Friday.
It doesn't matter who we play against Chelsea because we're going to get battered anyway.
No, I play the Man City formation.
Cole Palmer is one of the best players in the league. He'll probably score 4 goals against.
All right, we got way over. Right, there is one final thing. Right, if I don't do this, Rob's gonna kill me. Right, so we are pretty much there on the PC. You guys are legendary. We're at 81%. And Rob had a stern go at me earlier about the lights. Okay, so yes, chat, we are gonna do this because Rob will kill me. Do you want lights on the PC or not? RGB, red forest style lights, or do you want, like Rob, a black box? Is that a Scandinavian black box? Was that your words, Rob?
Like the obelisk in 2001, just like a
smart.
Rob, you've got red lights behind you though.
Cool, and it
not on my computer though. My computer.
No one's going to see the computer, are they? Unless you.
That's not the point. This is the question. This is what we're going to be voting on, isn't it? We need to finalise the build. We want to start ordering the parts, and we just need to know: are we going to go for coloured lights? That means you need an RGB motherboard, an RGB case. It affects.
He's only going to give them the details and go political.
If you want red lights, you can buy an LED strip for about 15 quid.
Nah, but it doesn't sync up with the audio and stuff, you know.
No, it does, mate. Mine do sync up with the audio.
Keep it simple. Should we get lights on it or no lights? Right, get your votes in now. Okay, I got the poll open, and this is the final say. And thank you to everyone who's put in for it. The target now, ideally, if we can get it done by the Chelsea game, so we can start ordering parts, because we will be doing breaking news. We'll be doing the watch-alongs for the Euros as well this summer. So we need to get the PC set up in between the end of the season and that. What were we talking about, like the 7th or something?
The international friendly weekend, was it June the 9th or 7th or something? We were
something like that.
Yeah.
So basically, we need to finish the funding by Chelsea, order the parts, get it delivered, and then we'll do a live stream with Rob and it's gonna be fun.
Not doing a live stream. I
don't know how anyone can say don't put lights on a computer. 100% you gotta put lights on a computer.
I understand. 78% of you are saying lights.
You're 12 years old, grow up.
You gotta put lights on your computer.
Hey, you put lights on your beard, Ant, man. You're going to talk about us growing up? Seriously, come on.
You dyed your beard, and everyone is saying I look like Henry VIII. It's the lighting.
Henry VIII, that's so true, man.
It's not really
You should run with that. That's a good looking like.
King Crypto, Your Highness.
We need to get you the hat.
The man says no lights, and he's freaking got a disco going on over here, man. Seriously.
It looks like the red light district behind you.
There you go, red lights. What do you need? Red lights.
Yeah. You just want to be in Holland, don't you?
Like walking through Amsterdam.
So listen, chat. If you got a spare quid to get us over that finish line, over that finish line, the link's in the chat for you now. Thank you to everyone who donated yesterday. All right, we're done here. We've gone for an hour and 40. Thank you all for tuning in. Please get those likes up if you haven't already. We'll be back tomorrow with a video and probably some other crap as well. Thank you for watching, you Reds. Enjoy your bank holiday. And we won, so cheer up. Cheer up.
Cheer up.
Yeah.
You Reds.